Started. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I've got a couple minutes after 4 o'clock, and I think I will call our March 20th Water Commission meeting to order. And with that, could we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Doba,
Here.
Commissioner Bills,
Here.
Commissioner Paul,
Here.
Commissioner Watzak, Commissioner Nauman,
Here.
Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Vane.
Here. Thank you. And the next item we have on the agenda is public participation, and this is the portion of the agenda where the public has an opportunity to address the Water Commission. The open meeting law prohibits us from discussing or taking action on any items that are brought up during public participation. However, commission members may respond to criticism made by those addressing the commission or ask staff to review a matter or ask that matter to be placed on a future agenda for discussion. We do limit the public comments to 3 minutes. And with that, I will open it up for public participation. Do we have anybody under public participation?
Turn this on. Okay, good afternoon, Water Commissioners. Tamara Lawless, the Water Conservation Program Manager. I just wanted to hop on and say that next month is Water Awareness Month. And so that tends to be a month that we do a lot of extra outreach in water conservation. So I thought I'd just highlight a few of the things that we're going to be doing. And then I can also send a follow-up email if you want to get involved in anything. So we are going to do there are these like special tabling experiences that we call water efficiency makeovers, where we do long stretches of tabling and encourage people to come and sit, and we can chat with them really in depth about their bill and their water use and ways that they can lower their bill and be more efficient if they want. So we've got a few of those. One session we're going to do here at City Hall on April 1st. That's the first City Council meeting of the month, and we'll also have the Water Awareness Month proclamation is going to be read by the mayor at that City Council meeting. And then we're also doing a few more of those, so kind of sprinkled throughout the month, but we're going to do one session at Buffalo Park. So just try to catch people while they're out on strolls. That's going to be on April 11th. And then we've got some on the 28th at Josie Montoya. The senior center tends to be a really good place for us to do these sessions because people have time to really sit down and chat about their bills. And then we're also going to do a session at the main library on the 29th of April. We're going to be at the Mountain Film Festival on April 4th. We're going to be at a Science Saturday event at Willow Bend on the 5th. We're doing a tour of the Lake Mary Water Treatment Plant on the 12th. So if you're interested in getting on that, let me know. We'll be at Earth Day with the Sustainability Division on the 19th at Bushmaster Park. We're also doing an Earth Day event at Coconino Community College. That's on the 22nd. We will be at Full Steam Ahead, which is one of like the Flagstaff kind of science festivals that happens. That's at Port Todd Hill on the 26th. So we'll be at all those events. If you're at those too, please come and find us and say hello. Let me know if you want to be on that tour. And yeah, just like a good way to remind us that, April's the time to think about the earth and think about how we can all contribute to water. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the February 20th, 2025 meeting. They were attached to the agenda, and I'm presuming they're fairly, definitely thorough minutes. We got like 4.5 pages of minutes. I hope that you all have had an opportunity to review them. Does anybody have any comments about the minutes? Changes? Corrections? No? Hearing none? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes. John Nauman.
Motion's been made to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? The minutes are approved from February 20th, 2025. That brings us to our new business item, 2024 Stormwater Conveyance System Maintenance Program. And it looks like we're going to have a presentation from John Morris on this from the Stormwater Group. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
and we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So before I get started, I just want to say I'm new with Stormwater Department. I've been here about 3 months. So I can do the presentation, but I cannot give credit to take any credit for the work that was performed last year. So I'd say the work under Ed and the rest of the stormwater section did a fantastic job, and as well as our stormwater maintenance team. So I'll report on some of those things. And I also want to preface that in the past, we used to call this open channel maintenance. And so we only did the primary system. That was the Rio and some of the main washes that fed into it. Moving forward, what we want to report on is what we're doing for the secondary portion of the system as well. So I'll talk about both of those programs as we get into our presentation. So I want to talk about generally what we're doing as far as maintenance for the conveyance systems. I'll separate it into the open channel summary and then our secondary conveyances, and then we'll break it out for any questions that you might have. So there's a lot on this page, and I apologize for that, but I just want to give you a sense of what the team is managing. So we have about almost 26 miles of FEMA regulated open channels. So that's the Rio and all the major washes that flow into into the Rio and that watershed. We also have about 40 miles of our secondary natural channels, minor ditches, and things like that. We also have about 3,000 catch basins and about 12 miles of road culverts. And if you look at it in combination, about 77 miles of pipes. And then we have a number of detention areas and regional detention ponds that we maintain. So this just gives you a sample of what the team is responsible for related to the full watershed and conveyance systems. If we break that out a little bit so let me take back a step back. Why would we even want to do this kind of a report? For one is it's required by FEMA. We are required to maintain our storm conveyance system. And when we combine this and report on it, it adds credibility to our community rating system. And so we've got a very high rated community rating system here in Flagstaff. So our residents get 25% discount off of the National Flood Insurance Program rates. And so this helps validate that we're maintaining the system as we should. And I think the second reason is it really provides assurance to our citizens that we're committed to taking care of the system, enhancing flood protection, enhancing the ecosystem, and I'll talk a little bit about that, and then making sure that we promote community recreation. So that's why we take the effort to pull this report together. Some of the things that we have to take care of through that whole infrastructure that I talked about is the annual seasonal inspections. So we're required to do annual inspections on as much as we can. And then we come back seasonally after there was a major event or major rain storm. We'll come back and inspect those areas in turn. So we're looking for vegetation removal. And a lot of that's in invasive weeds. We can take care of trash and debris. We'll end up with a lot of woody debris in the conveyance systems that can actually start to clog up the culverts. I mentioned invasive weeds. The general channel clearing, and that's where and I'll talk about who does some of that work. We do dredging. We're looking at erosion control so that we make sure that we keep the water flowing the way it's supposed to. System component maintenance. So if we're talking about the culverts, the scuppers, the storm drains, we're maintaining and repairing those. And we have written procedures that are required by FEMA that how frequently you're going to do certain activities, who's responsible for them, what are the procedures related to those and those are all included in that report that will be on our website. So some of the work that we do, besides our internal maintenance crews and our stormwater section, we have regional partnerships. So we use the AmeriCorps team. They really come out and inspect our major open channels. So they're looking at those 26 miles of the open channels. Then we partner with the American Conservation Experience. These are Conservation Corps, the Conservation Legacy. They do a lot of the heavy lifting. They'll get out. We have crews out there right now pulling all the woody debris out of the channels, piling it on the sides, and our team takes it and hauls it away. And we also partner with the Stream Steward Program, which is kind of led by, it's managed by our sustainability office, but it's in partnership with the Friends of the Rio. So there's where citizens can come adopt a section of the major channels. And so those teams will come in and help us do the clearing as well. So our AmeriCorps teams help us with the inspections, and these other regional partners help us with the maintenance work. So here's one of our dashboards. There's a lot of information on here, and I'll just walk you through pieces of it. On the upper left, we do about 143 inspections. And out of those 143 inspections, at the positive note, down at the bottom, 126 of those resulted in little to minor work at all. It means the channels were clear, they're looking good, and then the other ones we rate in second and first priority as how important it is to get out there and how quickly. So that's on the left side. It shows we've done 143 inspections out of the 26 miles. We closed 24 of the work orders, and that's the higher priority work, totaling about $88,000, $89,000. And then I'll talk a little bit more about this pie chart. But what's in the center of the graph, this is off of our City Works. This is our work order management system. And we can look at each of these wrenches and tell specifics about what that work order was, what actions were taken, and what work was recorded. So if we look and dive a little bit deeper out of the 24 work orders that were completed, about 2/3 of that was dredging and vegetation removal. And that's typically what we see in the drainage channels. And then another 25% was trash and debris that just builds up. And then we had some erosion control. So like I say, about 2/3 of that work was dredging and vegetation removal. And those combined were about about $80,000. If we look at the secondary conveyance system, when we look at the report here, you'll see that about 98% of that was on the catch basins. And that makes a lot of sense. There's about 3,000 of those catch basins. And that's the beginning of where it all starts. If that's where the pine needles and the pine cones and debris all builds up, if we don't keep the catch basins clean, it starts to pond up and it doesn't even get into the channel. So when I looked at this initially, it makes a lot of sense. And if I break that work out a little bit further, about a little over half of that was visual inspections. That's the teams getting out, making sure they're inspecting it, and then that generates some of the work orders for them to come back and actually do the cleaning and any great repairs. So that's what was going on the secondary side of the system. So these are some of the metrics and reports that we'll have in the annual report that is available. So what's next for us? Certainly we want to enhance and continue our partnerships with our regional partners that I talked about earlier. We want to continue with our annual surveys and our seasonal inspections. We're actually putting together additional inspection reports for our detention ponds so that we can make sure that those are in good shape. We're enhancing our proactive maintenance program, so we want to be ahead of the program, not be reactive. So we're looking at some of the things, not only making sure that we're annually, but are there things that we can do with our work order management system to kick the work orders out so that we don't skip some things. When you see that long list that I had on the second slide of all the things we're responsible for, it's not something that one person can keep track of. So we're making sure the computer keeps track of that for us. We want to make sure we enhance the utilization of that program. We want to enhance, then we can, if we're using that work order system, it helps us with our reporting. So I want to expand on our reporting next year with some other things that I think that we might have missed this year. So these are all things that just progressive, continuous improvement on our programs. And then what we do is out of these inspections and some of our work that feeds into our small projects and our capital improvement projects. So that's how it all ties together and fits together. And that is a quick snapshot of how that program works. Any questions?
Thank you, John. Any questions from the commission?
I've got one. When I've attended meetings on flooding and so forth and city county response, I always have somebody who comes up to me when they find out I'm on the water commission and they say, the Rio channel by my house is plugged up with stuff. And so I try to bring that to your guys' attention, but how do you guys respond to requests from citizens like that.
If they called in, we will initially create that work order, and that way we can assign somebody to go out and inspect, or the maintenance crews to come out and take care of the issues. So they should be able to get on our website, find out how to call us, and then we can create a work order from that point.
John, would it be correct to say that the Rio to Flag, as it goes through the main part of town, is inspected annually?
Yes, absolutely.
And I would anticipate that there's a need for vegetation removal on an annual basis.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we've got the Arizona Conservation Corps out there right now working on sections of it for us.
Okay. It's a continual job, I'm sure.
It is. As soon as you do one thing, it grows right back. Yeah.
Any other? Rob?
John, what do you consider the biggest challenges in the area you're reporting on? Are there any capital needs? I guess in my mind, I can't connect this with the capital expenditures reports we've seen. But
Sure. So I would say they're almost separate, and that one is the capital, one's looking at the long-range future planning where we need to make sure that we've got major investments. So that's where when you start to look at the Schultz Creek ponds and some of those are the big capital projects. Once those ponds are built, we're coming back from the maintenance side and making sure that they're in good shape and ready for any events that come up. So they're almost they're complementary, but I would say they're two sides of a coin.
it sounds like you're comfortable, you're able to keep up as a group with the maintenance requirements.
Currently, right now, I think it's looking pretty good. Yes.
I'm not hearing any emergencies from your side.
Well, that's, if we're doing our job, that's what we're hoping to happen.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Haley?
Do you have any stretches that are particularly problematic that tend to get more debris or trash, and then do you look upstream to try to solve that problem? Just kind of curious.
I'm going to use a new guy card on that one and give me a little time to make sure that I really understand what's going on. So what I was working with this year were last year's inspections and relying on institutional knowledge from my coworkers. So I'll get up to speed and I'll be able to answer that better next year.
Any other questions? I guess not. Thank you, John, for the
Thank you.
report. Very good report on our maintenance of our stormwater system for the city. Appreciate it. Yes, yes, it does help to be in a drought, for sure. Next, let's see, from this item, we go to old business. We have no old business on the agenda to address. And that takes us to informational items from the chair, commission members, or staff. I would like to bring up the Snow Bowl tour that's been offered to us from the Snow Bowl. I know that this topic has been run through the city attorney's office. It was determined that it should be two separate tours, one for the Water Commission and one for the City Council. The City Council date, I believe, has been established for April 30th. They'll be meeting up there. We were tentatively set for the Water Commission for the March 26th, which would be next week. But I wanted to ask the commission members how many of you would be able to attend, or how does that date work for everybody?
Do you have the time of day?
1 o'clock. The plan would be to meet up at Agassiz Lodge at 1 o'clock. Everybody provide their own transportation up there. And it's going to be about a 2-hour tour.
Yes, that works for me.
Works for you. John, I don't think it works for you. Haley,
I can make that.
Don,
I thought I saw some email to the effect that there is a meet and greet with potential applicants for the open utilities director's job.
there was. And trying to think of the day.
I may be mistaken. I had that down as the 27th,
I did as well.
not the 26th.
Yeah. Matthew, how are you?
Yes, I can make it.
You can make it. So we do have one member that can't make it, and that's John. And I suppose that, I know John would like to attend. if we could move the date.
But that- I kind of- If that's the best date for the rest of the.
I'm going to be out of town for a couple of weeks, the beginning of April, so that would probably push us back till the end of April if we change the date.
Ron, I can ask city leadership if we can have one person from the Water Commission join the council tour, if that could
That would be,
work.
how would that work, John? If you went with the council? That would be the 30th of April.
Mm-hmm.
While John is looking, I wonder, would it make sense to do the tour in lieu of the next Water Commission meeting if we don't have urgent topics on the Water Commission meeting?
This late, in the we'd probably want to move it up, though, the timing.
I suppose it would have to be the April Water Commission meeting then.
It'd be the April, yeah, the time of day. Move it up to 1 o'clock on, let's see,
Does it need to be that early in the day or, I don't know
I don't know, we've been talking about 1 to 1:30. Rob, does the time make much difference?
Well, he's coming down, April 30th works for me.
April
Whoever
30th
asks.
works.
Hi, Rob Lynn, General Manager of Arizona Snowball. We're flexible, happy to do it really at any time. We can pull our team together. Next week does work well. We're anticipating you coming up. We've got our team in place. If I had to choose, that would be my preference, but
Okay.
whatever works best for you all.
Well, if John's okay with going on April 30th with the council, why don't we stay with that date for next week, for the 26th at 1 o'clock?
Okay.
And the commission members, and I believe the city attorney's going to be going up there as well. And there were some city staff that were invited as well to go on the tour. So, well, the 30th is 1:30.
1:30.
Yes.
Then I'd encourage everyone to wear a jacket, some gloves, and some boots. The weather can be a little different up there than it is here in town, so just to warn you. But we look forward to having you up there.
Great. Sounds like we have a plan then, Rob. Thank you.
I'm
Oh.
emailing Shannon Anderson right now to confirm that it's okay to have a commissioner join.
Okay. If there's an issue, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. That's all I had. Any other commission members have any informational items? I know that, I think Lee has an item, but does anybody else have anything they want to bring up? What concern came up, a question came up as far as the status of the Rio Digester project. And I'd asked Lee if he might be willing to give us an update during the informational items.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Lee Williams, Water Services. Yeah, an update on the Rio Solids project. The word that Shannon Jones like to use is a pivot. So we got kind of preliminary idea on the size of the digesters that we would need to build at the Rio plant and a preliminary cost estimate. It came back in the $55 to $60 million range to build 2 digesters at the Rio plant. Well over budget. I believe Shannon Jones was thinking more about $30 million. Once that estimate came back, that's when the pivot happened and we decided to pilot the Shinse dryer and no longer put digesters at the Rio plant, but to put a facility at the Rio plant with Shinse dryers in it to handle the solids. Kind of twofold. One is if we put digesters there, we would still have to move liquid solids around some way or do some kind of dewatering anyway. Whether they're put into trucks and hauled over to Wildcat and put on the DLD, or whether they are put into the collection system as they are now, would be a decision to be made down the road. But with the Shinse dryer, we would be able to dry them out. It would reduce the mass significantly, less hauling, and it would also produce stock for a biochar facility that the Sustainability Division is looking at getting a grant for. The output of that Shinse dryer makes pretty good feedstock, especially if you mix it with forest products for biochar. Preliminary estimates on that facility are in the $18 to $24 million range.
That's for the dryer.
That's for the dryer.
And that would be located at the Rio plant?
That would be located at the Rio plant, yes. Kind of south of the solar panels and west of the aeration basins.
Questions?
How committed to this modification, the project are you right now? Have you invested a lot of funds in it, or where are we at on that?
Yeah, we have 30% plans from Waterworks, and I believe we're working towards 60% plans. I don't have a ballpark figure on expenditures. It's in the upper 10,000s or maybe lower $100,000 in design thus far. There is a third party. The Flag Water Group has kind of come up with their own design, and I think they were working with Waterworks to put some micro screens in. I don't know if you're familiar with the Flag Water Group, and I've been in conversations with Ward Davis, but we haven't solidified anything at this point. With them being the procurement process with the city might get a little strange. They would probably have to subcontract through Waterworks, and Waterworks would have to sign off on their design if that's the direction we decide to go. Just to give you a little bit of background on other things that are going on with that.
The dryer project would still require odor removal facilities, wouldn't it, Lee?
I'm sorry, I missed
The
it.
dryer project would still require odor removal facilities?
Oh, yes, very much so, yeah. Odor removal would be incorporated into the building, and we won't skimp on that with it being in the middle of town. Probably
Yeah.
similar to what we have out at Wildcat with the fans and the blowers and the carbon sequestration. It's like a powder activated carbon that it pushes the air through to remove the odors.
The price tag on those digesters is shocking. It's like double what it costs us to build the entire Rio to Flag plant.
Oh my
So-
goodness, that's in 30 years, yeah.
Any more questions? Rob?
Yes, Lee, is the 18 to $20 million directional estimate, is that all inclusive, or is that just the dryers, or?
That is the building, the piping, that's the dryers, that's all inclusive. And that's a very preliminary estimate based on, just kind of a 10% plan handed over to PCL.
Okay, I gather this, proceeding with this would not require the biochar plant, but would be a nice add-on if the biochar plant were available. Is that correct?
We would be positioned to do so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know that the biochar plant would go at the Rio facility. We've been looking at other lots that the city owns kind of out on the east end of town where it's more industrial with the biochar has a pretty big heat signature, and there's going to be trucks in and out of there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I talked with Ward Davis a couple of days ago, and there could be a modification to that plan. The Shinse dryer will still be part of the system.
Yeah.
But there's a rotating belt microfilter that could improve the efficiency of the whole system substantially and maybe save the city a couple $1 million. So.
Yeah, we are open to suggestions, especially if saving money, if it's something that is proven technology, or if we can. I know there's one in Iowa that they have working. I have yet to talk to the manager of that plant, but it's on my list of things to do.
Any more questions for Lee? Hearing none. Thank you, Lee. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
the update. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Can I just add the project status paper that you're accustomed to getting? There it is. Is that a new one, or is that an old copy?
Well, on here it says, this is from not this month's, but last month's, and it says tracking 11/13/2024. So I don't think it's been updated, at least the top of it hasn't been
Okay.
updated in a little
I-
while, so.
I have another copy that I was working on yesterday. I apologize for not having it ready. I will make this a higher priority in the future, but I can email that out to the group probably tomorrow or Monday if you'd like to see it. Yeah, we've done, been on a bit of a hiring spree, so our vacancies went from 11% to about 4.5%. So we're getting close to fully staffed, and there are a couple projects that are moving along, so I'll show you the changes on that when I get a chance. Okay, any other questions?
I guess not. Thanks,
Okay.
Lee.
Thank you.
Any other informational items from commission members or staff? We're running way ahead of schedule today. It's, I've got 4:32. A record? Record?
That's okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we will consider the Water Commission meeting adjourned. Thank you.